So, ionic names and formulas. We've got two different types of ionic compounds. We have binary, which have two elements. So we have a metal and a nonmetal. And we have ternary, which we're going to have three or more elements. So we're going to have a metal and a polyatomic ion. Polyatomic ions, there's a chart in the book. And you need to become familiar with these. Okay? For example, we have something like nitrate, which is the formula NO3 with a -1 charge. So we have a tightly bound group, NO3, and it has a charge. Now, to write the formula of an ionic compound, since we have to be neutral, we have to exactly balance the positive and negative charges. And the easiest way to do this is that the charge of one ion, see this 1 here on the potassium, becomes the subscript on the chlorine. And this 1 charge on the chlorine becomes the subscript on the potassium. So we just crisscross the numbers. So the 2 charge of calcium goes down to the subscript of the fluorine. The 1 charge of the fluorine goes down to the subscript on the calcium. Here the 3 of iron becomes the subscript on oxygen. The 2 charge on oxygen becomes the subscript on iron. So in this compound we've got Fe3 plus once and twice. We've got O2 minus 1, 2, 3 times. So we have a grand total of +6 and a grand total of -6. So we are neutral. Now, this second row all contain polyatomic ions, but we are still only crisscrossing the charges. The tightly bound formula, SO4, stays exactly SO4. In this second one, OH minus is polyatomic ions, so the OH stay together. We are crisscrossing the +2 and the -1. So our formula has the OH in parentheses with the 2 outside of it. In this last example here, we have a +3 and a -3. So it's like they cancel out when the charges are equal, but opposite sign. So on opposite charges, we get a 1-to-1 ratio. So how do we name these? Well, we name the cation, and that's its first name. And then the anion, and that's its last name. So these compounds are going to have 2 names. So K is potassium, Cl is chlorine. We change that ending to IDE. So everything has 2 ions, so it has a first name and a last name.